It's bad when a show can have crummy episodes in a season. It's worse when a full season is horrible. It can be because they dumb down stories, characters have no personalities, people are just basic archetypes with no depth. They create a season that does not care about the overall connection, or they just write whatever just to fill a paycheck. Unfortunately, Power Rangers has gotten a lot of seasons, more so in recent years, being really bad. I don't want to hear the excuse, it's only a kids show. 1, don't treat kids as idiots. I remember when I watched Transformers G1 Season 4 and quit with that garbage. 2, when other shows in the past like Beast Wars, Batman the Animated Series, Gargoyles, and older seasons of PR all had quality writing that was aimed for kids. Showrunners have no excuse when you do a bad job. Turbo! This is where it all started. Ironically, in Japan, this is the season that saved Sentai when O-Ranger was the one that screwed it up. PR always has comedy in one shape or another. The thing is, Turbo had 2 forms of comedy that conflicted. We had our usual Bull Skull Stone characters, then the show inherited Sentai's comedy. Japan and the US have different ideas to it, so Turbo tried to split the difference. Elgar was turned into a moron, which I still don't understand. You can make someone annoyingly dumb like Goldar, but Elgar went way harder in that territory. Most of the main henchmen were idiots. While Diva Talks was also funny / stupid, it compounded the problem. Then you put in all the Car Ranger stuff, you just don't want to watch these episodes. Next comes the writers. They were all on automatic. The old cast was leaving, we have to write X amount of episodes, just do the same thing over and over again. Them dealing with a bomb practically every episode, no final character development, no proper interactions with Justin, Rocky just gets dumped, and Tommy is just doing things. Another screw up was with Bulk and Skull being apes. I know the actors wanted to do other things, like Paul directed some episodes and Jason wanted to do different types of acting, but it was the worst time to do this. If the apes were in Zeo, or at least they were just written out temporarily, we wouldn't have been inundated with so many changes. Lastly, we come to Justin. I'm not against a kid becoming a ranger. I'm not against a kid being really smart. I'm against a kid playing an adult. You can't have Justin and Carlos have a conversation about girls and Justin giving him advice. Justin basically acted like a get out of jail free card in a lot of episodes. Then they tried to force us to like him by making him be the major focus in the first half. All this just to get newer, younger audience members to watch the show. It never works out. This is not what people want. As most fans, we want to see the whole team. We want teamwork. Yes, everyone can have focus episodes, but not like Justin did. I didn't like that Rocky was just thrown out. He had to leave, but I would have had him around to help Justin out till he was ready. Turbo was last on my list solely because of the turnaround the second half did. That saved the season from total mediocrity.
Jungle Fury.
It had lots of potential, just poor execution. Most of the cast was likable. Casey was the one with the issue. He wasn't the worst Red Ranger, but when you have your main guy fall on the floor and say, I don't want to have trouble, it's stupid. Camille and Jared were not really good villains. Jared the worst. He was a jerk towards Casey and the others, but you didn't know how far was Daishi controlling him. Then the sub-villains weren't that great. I loved RJ, Theo, Leo, and Dom were fine. The writers' strike really screwed a fair bit of episodes where we had just horrible clunkers. The Spirit Rangers, I thought was a good idea. Too bad they didn't do much with them. They just were there selling toys. The main problem Jungle Fury had was adapting this type of series from Geki Ranger. It ran more spiritual than most other seasons, so villains and the heroes had these abilities that you really didn't know how they worked or why Jared unlocked this ability at this point. Geki Ranger explained a lot of this really well. Jungle Fury basically glossed over all the stuff.
MMPR Season 3?
I'm probably alone on this one. Season 3 wasn't really that good. You could see the writers were getting bored. They had to deal with keeping the old suits for 3 years and figure ways to combine 2 other seasons of Sentai and try to make it all make sense. Plus, also work with the movie and the Masked Rider show. Rita and Zed started to get boring, more of the same, no real growth past the wedding episode. While the New Zords were cool, them traveling back in time wasn't. Then we have the Alien Rangers and the whole Zeo Quest. I like the idea of other planets having Power Rangers, and they work differently. Them being fish people was okay, but most of them were ignored, worse than any other season ever done, except for White and Blue. Be honest, you can't remember Black and Yellow's name half the time. The kids weren't really fun, the time travel stuff made no sense, Kim's departure was the best thing that came out of it, the whole Pink and White Rangers sharing a Zord, that was just dumb. Next was Master Vile. Okay, we get to meet more family members of Rita. Too bad you didn't do much with him, and Rito became a moron with Goldar. Scorpina vanished, along with Squat and Babu. Season 3 felt like a crummy stopgap to Zeo. And the worst thing? Aisha leaving. She had no goodbye to any of her friends. Everything was handled by the young actress, thrown away for a new face. Tanya followed in her footsteps.
Megaforce.
I remember when I first watched the pilot. I get it. 20th anniversary. Let's throw back to MMPR. But they didn't do anything right. There was no soul to the season. Let's just copy whatever, and that's all the fans need. School setting? Check. Guy named Ernie? Check. Talking head? Check. Gosei was no Zordon. Zordon was a person of respect, caring of his Rangers, and understanding when problems came from their lives. He tried to better these people, help them in any way he could. He was a surrogate father. Gosei did no such thing. He explained rules, he gave stuff, and just acted like a cheerleader for the seasons. The main characters were poor, they were all just stereotypes, never went out of their comfort zone. The writers didn't even care that they used names almost identical from the Samurai cast. What did Emma do? She liked taking photographs and singing. That's it? Noah was trying to be Billy, but didn't really do much, and was stuck in the school's computer room all day. No one went home, no one had a family. The writers were also working with a poor Sentai season. They could have done a lot of things. They had a really low ceiling to be better. And they end up being worse than Goseiger? Troy is a really bad Red Ranger. He does nothing except show he can fight on rooftops, be commanding, and the few times we can just see a glimmer of the character, the episode's end, and reset to the beginning.
Dino Supercharge.
I can't believe I'm putting this here. Dino Charge was a good season. Good characters, good plots, people had emotions, characters had goals, we got some origin stories, the villains were interesting, we had some mysteries, and the season ended with a new creepy villain. Season 2 starts, everything goes down the drain. The new baddie Heckle, he just turns into Sledge. His alter ego doesn't really matter. We find out he was doing all this because his planet was destroyed. Fury is just garbage. We find out who the Aqua Ranger is, and Tyler's dad just looks like a moron by never contacting Tyler at all. Email, regular mail, a phone call, something. We get a lot of filler episodes that just waste time. Introduce Statue of Liberty guy from Kyoryuger for no reason. Xenowing pops in, doesn't really have any good moments. He's just a plot point. You don't care about him at the end of the series. Keeper? Who's that again? Oh yeah, that peach-colored dinosaur guy that we don't know anything about. And what does Kendall do? Nothing. Not to mention the worst season finale ever. The fall from season 1 to season 2 has got to be the worst change in quality the show has ever done.
Wild Force.
This was just a season that didn't really go anywhere. We came from Time Force, which was very good and almost got a movie, to Wild Force. They couldn't even come up with a different name. The season was worse off because of how close it copied Gal Ranger. The weird thing is, Gal Ranger isn't that bad compared to Wild Force. I think it was just the characters weren't that great. We had Cole, who's just annoying. You can be happy and go lucky, but you can't use that as an excuse for common sense. Princess Shayla, I don't even know what that was. Besides Taylor, no one was really that interesting. Merrick with Tanaku, it was something, but pretty much gone once he got free of his body. The only redeeming feature was Cole's backstory with Master Org. It was something new, and him being actually evil, killing his parents just because he was jealous. The rest was your usual, just follow the Sentai plots to the letter and save money. I wonder if this was because of this season switching to Disney was the reason why the production just ran on autopilot. A lot of these people were going to lose their jobs. No meat off their backs.
Mystic Force.
I could sum it up in 3 words. The Nick Show, or maybe Power Rangers Mystic Nick. That's all the season was. The characters were actually fine. I didn't hate anyone, they were just not perfect. The magic aspect of it was okay, it's different than usual, and was capitalizing on the whole Harry Potter stuff. You just can't make the Red Ranger the only thing that matters. The episodes got boring as they went along. The whole mystery of who Donna's son wasn't a good secret. They just kept doing these info dumps right before the episode ended. Daggeron gives some sort of news, camera pulls in, dramatic music, episode fades to black. All the characters just sucked it up to Nick as a lord and savior. The finale didn't really make sense. Nick just goes evil, so Leonbo had to fight and destroy the base. The villains weren't all that good, mainly because they weren't the actual main bad guy. It was some stupid squid guy that no one interacted with until the end. I never like it when the main baddie is something that can't talk. Korag was the only saving grace.
Operation Overdrive.
Alright, a lot of you have asked me, why do you hate Overdrive? We just had Mystic Force that wasn't all that good, Bo Kendra was a decent season, and pretty much average stuff for PR to work with. Nothing gelled right. Hartford wasn't a good mentor, he was annoying, picked these people out of nowhere, at the same time denies his son to be on the team and tries to hide these people? So how's that going to work out for a whole year? Most of the characters were just bad. Mac, while it was cool that they made him a robot, it was too late when they revealed it. It was good that he hated his father, but it was just one emotion, nothing expanded on, then all erased at the end. Ronnie was nobody. We know nothing past her race car driving part. She had no good episode, and the episodes that would have used her ended up being about Will. Now let's go to Will. Oh wait, I can't because he keeps quitting. It became a joke. How many times did he do that? I think 6 times? He was more whiny than Mac. Every little thing that didn't go his way, he wanted to bail. Rose, she was pompous, a know-it-all, but was the best character out of the bunch. At least she did her main job and had one episode that was decent. Dax is Dax. He just cracked jokes, said one-liners, and complained about work. Not much else. Tried to get something going with Mirror Tricks, but it didn't work out. Taizon, I liked him, but they didn't do anything with him except that 2-parter of him being stuck in his memory. Other than that, boring 6th Ranger. The Rangers getting powers got old, they never used them. Spencer was the best character out of everyone. The main villains were pretty crummy, basically Lord Zed of goofiness. The episodes were bland, nothing really felt epic, which has been PR's problem in recent years. When the Rangers got a new Zord at the last minute, it felt amazing. When you saw the Titanozord come into Dino Supercharge, who cares? I didn't care about Zeno Wing. The anniversary seasons always end up being pretty bad, which is unfortunate. If the season didn't have Spencer, there would be really nothing good to say about it. Just another season that can be easily ignored.
Samurai.
I'm counting both seasons. Nothing was done right. We had crummy writing, which made all the actors look bad. Nothing was funny. Antonio was crazy. Mia's can't cook joke got more annoying as it went along. Everyone was just an ass for not telling her. Kevin, forget about it. G, what was the point of him? He did nothing. And Jaden is the worst Red Ranger, period. All he did was say, I must not fail. He did nothing wrong, just had to get better. Didn't learn anything. He's always saying work with the team, but then just runs off and fights monsters alone or just quits. And no one believes that this guy belongs to a Japanese family. Never made sense. Bulk and Spike were such a waste of time. They couldn't interact with the Rangers. I don't understand that. It was horrible. 2 actors that aren't bad, and they got nothing to play off, except crappy jokes. The main villains were stupid, them copying the episodes right down to crediting the original Japanese writers. Come on here. And whenever they used a good Shinkenger episode, they just took out what was good about it, then things went unexplained. The team up was crap, total insult to RPM. Mike and Lauren are the only 2 characters worth watching Samurai for. That's it. Even then, it's a stretch. How could Saban start off with MMPR and almost 20 years later do this? It was like that they forgot everything that the company did for the first 9 years, and this was their first time working with foreign footage.
Super Megaforce.
This season is the cherry on top. Super Megaforce is a personal disappointment for me. I don't care if you're Star Wars and made billions of dollars or a little kid's show. If you reach 20 years, you've done something right. And Power Rangers as a whole is worthy of this milestone. But everyone running the show squandered that. They had so much time to prepare, so many early signs, but they decided to be disconnected from the fan base. It just fell apart. I'm not asking for some massive movie that goes insane. Bringing back key people was always perfect. Forever Red, which should have been a 2-parter, was simple but fun. I would have liked if the whole Wild Force cast was used in it. Once a Ranger, again, decent team up. They picked the right characters and gave each one some screen time. The legendary battle, forget it. Disappointment everywhere, from people not talking to having no closure to the characters. The finale isn't just the problem. The whole season was to honor the past. Regardless of how I feel towards certain seasons, doesn't mean I don't want the show to respect them. which is why I think the best anniversary episode was Jungle Furies. It was the only one that gave a real look back and worked with it. Every other one either had no one from the season appear or had them pop up for just 2 seconds. I don't care about the Mystic Force Dragon, Mini Zord, Delta Runner-On, and the rest if no one shows up for them. I would have been happy if anyone from Mystic Force to have shown up. I take Gingy, even Hunter from Ninja Storm, but nothing? They don't even use the Lightspeed suits once, but we get all these new freaking powers that make no sense. Having the suits from 1991 and before be in Power Rangers is unacceptable when you don't bother to explain anything. A lot of you aren't going to agree with me. That's fine, everyone's different. I don't care about the Lost Galaxy suits looking like Charlie Brown. That never offended me. If Peanuts didn't exist, no one would have cared. I hate the Zyuohger suits and the Go Buster suits. They're bad for me. I hate that Saban skips series just because a season is bad in Japan. That doesn't mean it will be bad here, as long as the crew makes good stuff. All these seasons, no matter what you think, someone out there loves them. There are people out there that hates In Space, Time Force, and RPM. Remember, it's our opinions. What seasons do you hate? And if you have a suggestion on what future topic you'd like me to do, leave a comment down below. For next week's episode, I'll be doing my top 10 actors.